Very warm welcome, everyone, to meeting number 210 of Personal Growth Leader Advanced Toastmasters International Online Club. Our mission is we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which our members are empowered to enhance their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence, personal growth, and achievement of their Toastmasters goals and those of Personal Growth Leaders Advanced International Online Club's goals. Today's theme of the meeting is igniting team spirit. One of the quotes that comes to mind is that of Henry Ford. Henry Ford says, coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. So these are the three stages in terms of how we operate as people who are coming together. So initially, we do not know each other and we come together. And that is the beginning of something that can happen. There is a term, a general process that they talk about in terms of the team, how the stages of teams are. So there is forming, storming, norming, and performing. And then there is adjourning as well. Adjourning is if the team has done its work, they adjourn. So this is what a team is all about. First of all, when we are coming together, it's a beginning and we are in a state of forming. We are staying together. It is a progress. It is norming. We are working together. It is success. So performing. So forming, storming. Actually, there is a storming as well. Storming is when people are just trying to understand each other, right? So you might come into different, because we are all unique in our own ways. And when we are working with other people, there might be some idiosyncrasies that come into picture, which is very unique to that particular individual. And we actually need to understand how to work in a team, right? So the second step is actually called storming. And the storming can become a huge storm or can become no storm at all, depending on who are there in the team, right? If the people in the team are some people who do not like to work in a team, like maybe they are more individual contributors rather than a teamwork person, they would find it a little bit of a struggle to work with a team, right? So the storming phase might become a longer phase. Forming, storming, norming. Norming is when the storming phase is slowly going off, and then we are understanding each other as a. So there is this: the whole is greater than sum of its parts. How many of us have heard this quote? The whole is greater than sum of its parts. What does it mean? It means that when we all come together with one purpose, one vision, what we can achieve is magnitude of times higher than what each and every individual can try to achieve that goal on their own, right? So this is what is whole is greater than sum of its parts, and this is what igniting the team spirit is all about, especially in the context of having a new leadership team for us in the coming months. I would like to really emphasize that it's really important that we continue to ignite the team spirit that we have within us, and we continue to bring leadership to Personal Growth Leaders Club so that it keeps on growing. We keep on having new members, new enthusiastic members, and we keep that leadership torch to be passed around to all the individuals so that they can practice the leadership skills in Personal Growth Leaders Club. So with that, thank you very much for patiently listening to this initial talk on igniting team spirit. And we come to the pie part of our meeting, the prepared speeches, the impromptu speaking, and then the last one is the evaluation section. So we have got a couple of speeches today. One is by Fatima from Visionary Communication Path, and another is by Teresa. I don't see the manual there. I might need to refresh this probably. Okay, it's a presentation mastery, researching and presenting. So we have got two speeches. Then we will go to the table topics, which is led by John Khalid, DTM, and then we'll have the general evaluation section by Anvita Hegde, and then the evaluations as well. So without further ado, let's go to the first speech of this meeting, which will be done by Fatima Afia Brigden from Visionary Communication, Understanding Your Communication and Leadership Styles Level 2. The project title, What is My Communication Style? What is my communication style? Fatima Afia Brigden.
What is my style of communication? Type in the chat box and tell me, what do you think is my communication style? What style do I use to speak to people? And my friends here with you, can you quickly type on into the chat box? Authoritative, it's galvanizing. Direct, I have done 8 parts now, and this is my ninth part. And I've been doing the same project over and over again. And of course, we do the assessment. And curiously, my style, it came out as direct. And Kaushal and a few other people, they have said, yeah, open, servant. There were three that came on the top. One was direct, supportive, and of course, is understanding the way. Now, when I think back years ago, I would have been direct. At the same time, I would just concentrate on getting my task done because I am result oriented, task oriented. That's my key thing that has been for years and years. I'm my actioner, what you call getting things done. Probably that's why I have been successful in forming organizations, establishing my business, and doing things along with team members. Every project I do, every event that I organize, I always have a team of members. At times, I may sound a bit direct and authoritative, as somebody said. I'm mindful that I am not over and try to abuse my position. And since I have done NLP, there are two techniques that I learned. That is mirroring and matching. Mirroring is how I have changed my way of communication, even with my husband, John Curry. Whereas before, I would pay more attention communicating with other colleagues at work and with my friends. Of course, husband is with you all the time and you take it for granted, don't we? And it changed me. And I started looking at ways, how can I really match with words? Matching means you keenly listen to words, their body language, their facial expressions. You can see even when you utter one word, how the color changes, the expression changes. Those are the little cues that you may have not uttered the words, the right phrases to connect with that person. And I am in flow in my communication. Now, mirroring, if you see somebody talking using hand gestures, you may want to use that same hand gestures to show that you are mirroring that person. If that person moves away or closer to you, you may want to mirror them. So that's how mirroring is done. Now, why these important techniques? Because it can apply to your body language and also the way we speak. And also words. Remember, we assume that other people understand us. Every time we speak, now Somesh has given an opening speech here. How many of us really understood that? That's I understood because as a business student, academia, how team formation and all that I have studied. Yet, if it's somebody who is new to the words, they may not have the same level of understanding. And this is why we want to refresh what we understand, what is forming. It's very simple. We can say, oh, team of group of people who come together. Initially, we have our conflicts, differences. As time passes, we form that relationship and smoothly we transition. Now it's coming up at the end of 1 year when I'm your president, and I'm so glad, looking forward to hand over my lantern to other people to carry leadership. And this is how I have been working. And this is why I would like to say to all of you, in NLP also we have what we call map is not your territory. The meaning defined is the way you think, the way we understand, it's not the same. We have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people here. Each person, we have a different way of perception, different way of understanding, which is totally different. If Teresa says something, Kaushal says something, the context, the understanding is totally different. The only way we can understand no is by rephrasing and asking, do you understand what I have said? Get that person to respond to you. And this is what I like to us to think of. George Bernard Shaw said, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. What do we understand by that? When, when we say something, we assume that you understand me. It's not the case. We need to step away from our map and step into the shoes of other people and try to understand from their perspective and how they know us. And this is the message I want to leave with you, that always tell yourself the map is different for everybody, and we need to understand the map of everybody. Thank you. Over to you.
Huge round of applause to Fatima for an interesting speech on what is my communication style. I just, in the beginning, I should have asked Kaushal to give the word of the meeting, and he has put it in the chat. Thank you, Kaushal. It is galvanize. Galvanize is a word that will be quite related to igniting team spirit. So that's good match there, Kaushal, in terms of that. So when we galvanize people to go and work towards one particular vision, then we are igniting the team spirit. So that's one of the ways of using galvanize. Now we go to the next part of the meeting, which is the second speech, and that would be by Teresa Carolyn from Presentation Mastery, Researching and Presenting L3 Elective, with the title Brian Tracy's 14-Step Goal Setting Guide Part 1. The introduction of the speech is the purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. The member completing this project has spent time researching a topic. So with a speech entitled Brian Tracy's 14-Step Goal Setting Guide Part 1, please welcome Teresa Carolyn.
What do you want more of in your life? Motivational public speaker and self-development author Brian Tracy offers these insightful words. Your life begins to become galvanized when you clearly identify, 1, what it is you want, 2, make a plan to achieve it, and 3, work on that plan every single day, taking no hiatuses. Have you clearly identified what it is, what you want to attract more of in your life? Have you made a plan to achieve it? Not seeing too many nods here. Are we awake this morning, this evening? Are you working your plan every single day to galvanize your effectiveness? In this presentation, you will receive the first 5 steps of Brian Tracy's 14-step goal-setting guide. In his guide, he professes that if you follow his words, you will achieve your goals faster than you ever thought possible. Who here would like to achieve their goals faster than they ever thought possible? Who here would love to galvanize their goals? Start now and let Tracy's guide show you how to take your desire to the level that you want, to the achievement and realization of your goal. Are you ready to take this opportunity? Step 1. What do you want to attract more of in your life? More money? A higher quality of life? Optimum health? Choose one of the above. Or perhaps you have your own burning desire that you want to achieve. Now, I want you to imagine that you have all the education, all the skills, all the contacts, whatever it is you need to achieve this goal. I want you to feel it. Feel that you are going to achieve it because you have everything it takes. Now, imagine that you have a magic wand and poof, you've achieved your goal. Congratulations. Well done. You're there. How do you feel? Are you feeling ecstatic? Are you feeling fulfilled? Are you feeling galvanized? Are you feeling ready to take on whatever is coming next? Number 1, step 1, imagine. Step 2, quickly write out the goal. If it was more money, put money. Don't see any pens flying. If it was optimum health, put that. Whatever it is your goal is, write it down. Did you know, as Brian Tracy and many others have told us, only 3% of adults have written their goals. 3%. The rest, 97%, work for those 3% of people. Did you write down your goal? Step 3, set a deadline. It's the system that forces you, as Brian Tracy says, to consciously and unconsciously work on your goal. Step 1, you imagined it. Step 2, you took that goal and you wrote it down. Step 3, you've now set a deadline. Step 4, identify your obstacles. We all have obstacles. Tracy uses the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle. He says that 80% of the reasons that are holding you back are coming from inside you. A lack of skill, a lack of personal experience, a lack of knowledge. Only 20% is outside of you. Only 20% is a lack of money, contacts, your address. Tracy said the rule is to always start with yourself. So once you've identified what knowledge, information, and skills you will need to achieve your goal, find out how to perfect these skills. And most likely, there are people out there who can help you. Find those people. Go and ask them exactly how you can achieve your goal. You've imagined your success. You must be feeling galvanized. Any smiles coming out here this evening or this morning, wherever you are? And remembering that 80% of the reasons why you're stuck are inside of you. Work on perfecting inside of you and plan every single day. Did you take this opportunity to achieve your goals faster? Maybe you will look at Brian Tracy's 14-step goal setting guide because it is yours to discover how to get there faster and more effectively. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
A round of applause to Teresa Carroll for an interesting speech on Brian Tracy's 14-step goal setting guide, part 1. So I would say that we'll be having other parts coming in later speeches. Now we come to the next part of the meeting, which is the I section, which is the impromptu speaking. And for that, we have our topics master, John Khalid, to lead us with the topic section. Over to you, John. Thank you.
You did.
Okay, I've unmuted now, so I'm ready and raring to go. So the theme is on team building. Is it not that one? Okay, so I've got about 10 questions, and we'll see how we go as we get along. So who would like to start the ball rolling, as they say? And now we got Cowsall. Cowsall? Right, let's have a look. I'm not going to ask you 1 to 10. I'm just going to take something out of it. And I may ask the same questions for other people. So, Cowsall, your one is, what motivates you the most in a team setting? What motivates you the most in a team setting? Over to you, Cowsall.
Mr. Topic Master and fellow Toastmasters, what motivates me the most in a team setting are problems to solve and crises to get through. Right now, at my job, we are very busy with the projects we have to do. And we are in a bit of a crisis because of a lot of technical challenges. Our software is just falling apart. So that has really motivated me to be a guiding light for my team. Similarly, on a national goal, as you all know, the political situation in the United States has gotten really bad. And our government is kind of falling apart because of its bad leadership, which we chose very poorly. And that has galvanized me to take action as well. I recently attended a protest rally. That's not the kind of thing I usually do, but I did this time, and I enjoyed yelling slogans in unison with other people who are also angry at what our country has become. So that is what galvanizes me to action. Problems to solve and crises to overcome. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you very much. Yes, I think it's not just the USA. My brother's in the UK, and he's saying how bad it is in the UK. So I think Western society is starting to break down by the looks of it. If we look at a lot of the countries in the West, but then again, there's always changes in the world, and we can see some in history that, like the Roman Empire, for years and years and decades and millennium, how they were, and they just started to decline, and then, of course, they're no longer here. And we can now see, or possibly the beginnings of that happening in this world. We'll see what happens. Thank you very much, Kausal. Who wants to be next?
I can
Who's
volunteer.
willing to?
Yeah.
Anvita?
Yeah.
Okay, Anvita. So, what is one thing you've learned from a teammate that has improved your work or personal life? What is one thing you've learned from a teammate that has improved your work or personal life? Over to you, Anvita.
I learned the importance of saying no from my teammate. Good day, Toastmasters. Few years ago, I had a very strict manager. He used to pile work or dump work on us. Sometimes he used to ask us to work over the weekends. Although I had other plans, I had to cancel in order to work. I used to think 1,000 times before telling no before. Oh my God, will he give me a lesser rating in the appraisal cycle if I tell no? Will he be offended? Will my teammates think that I'm lazy? And this was spoiling all my weekend plans and also my mental peace. I gradually began to hate working. And that's when a new teammate joined our team. She was from a different company. Initially, things were fine, but slowly my manager began to dump more work on her. At first, she used to do it silently, but gradually she started to say no. I'm sorry, I've committed only for this work. For this month, I can do only that. She used to tell it upfront. And even for the weekend work, she used to ask for compensation holidays on other days. And because of it, he stopped piling work on her. And slowly later, we other team members also started doing that. We established clear boundaries because of our ability to tell no. And gradually, the interest which I had lost, I regained. That was because I was not overworking. From this experience, I learned that we can learn from each and every team member or from someone whom we work with. It can be their behavior, their attitude, their outlook in life. We can also learn what to do. So keep your eyes open, ears open, be open to learning from everyone. Over to the table topic master.
Thank you very much, Anvita. It is a very difficult word to say, isn't it, to people? No. Yeah, because you're thinking of how they will react. Will they feel sad? Will they, I mean, all those things go through your mind. And you think, oh, I'll just get on with it. But it's very hard to actually say no to people. It's easy to say yes. So the next one, who would like to go next? Let me have a look. See you all chomping at the bit to get out here and speak. Samesh, go on. Oh no, Teresa. Teresa put her hand up. Teresa first, then Samesh. Teresa, go on then. Okay.
Okay.
So, Teresa, what has been your proudest moment working with a team? So, what has been your proudest moment working with a team? Teresa, over to you.
My proudest moment working with a team would have to be with my Toastmaster clubs. Presently in a different club, I'm PR, VP of PR. And our club is definitely low in numbers, but every single person is trying to move forward. And whenever we post or someone posts or someone has an idea, we're all behind them. And I think that that was something that we realized at the beginning when I joined this club. I had originally decided to coach the club, but I felt that it would have been better to be a member instead, because as a member, I could do all the things that the members could do, and I also could help out and be a lead in the club. And I think that it's worked. However, we are coming up with great ideas, but attracting more people, perhaps I need to do my Brian Tracy's magic wand and say, we have all these people. But that would be probably one of my proudest moments. And I would say, like with any of my clubs, because people do really pick up and do what's necessary, especially, as Kaushal said, in crisis. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics.
Thank you very much there. Yes, it is difficult because you get a lot of people that say yes to you, but they don't turn up. I've had at least a dozen in the last 2 months that I've approached, I've talked to, they're energetic and everything like that, but nothing seems to happen. We've got to come up with a different way, I think, or a different perspective to get them interested in any club in Toastmasters, to be quite honest. Okay, so the next one I think is Somesh. Yeah, I see you're ready to go, Somesh. Okay. So, Samesh, this is a good one for you. How do you like to celebrate team successes? How do you like to celebrate team successes? Over to you, Samesh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Topics Master. As a background to this, I think it's really important to say that celebrating team successes is extremely important. Generally, what happens is, especially in a company where I am working, a technological software development company, people are working on a particular feature, delivery of a particular feature. They get requirements through a strategic product manager who is working in a different department, totally in a different area. First of all, the strategic product manager will be working with a customer. They will bring in the requirement. That goes to a product owner who works in a different team. Product owner works with the Scrum Master who is facilitating the whole team to deliver on the project. So from our context, in our product development unit, we would have lots of these microservice development teams. And microservice is a particular part of the product which is independent in its own existence, and it can work with other microservices. So why I'm telling all these technical terms here is that there are lots of these teams who work together to deliver one particular feature. And they do a lot of interesting work there. And in the end, they do get to the stage of delivering the feature. But what happens is that we are in a continuous train of delivery. And once that feature is delivered, immediately there is the next one in the product backlog, and the person has to work. So I really make it a point that whenever we achieve these delivery goals, we have a cake with the team, a session where everyone comes together and celebrates the success and enjoys that moment of succeeding in working together and delivering something. And I think it is really important to put more effort in celebrating success. Over to you, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you very much there, Samash. Yes, we need to, as you say, always celebrate team successes or any success. And I think that is important in life. So well, let's see. I think we've got time for just one more. Have we got time for one more? 25-2. Yes, I believe. Let's have Aska. I haven't heard from Aska for ages. So Aska, okay. How do you prefer to receive feedback and recognition for your work? How do you prefer to receive feedback and recognition for your work? Over to you, Aska.
Thank you. Good day to you all. How I prefer to receive feedback and recognition. Um, for me, I always love to have a good discussion about what I have done well. So for me, verbally having a discussion and focusing on the thoughts, feelings, and what we have contributed to what we are contributing is very important. So it has a lot of advantages of it. Some people might say that, okay, we want something, we want something materialistic, but it is not that necessary. But rather than a good discussion would lay path for the developments that can be brought later on. So at the same time, I feel more special when I know about when I'm able to discuss about the contributions. So I will say that it's better to receive it verbally. And at the same time, for me as a leader, I always love to appreciate others. I always love to tell them how I feel about it, what they have contributed to to our common goal, and always let the celebration be a happy moment. So as for me as a leader, I love to see others celebrating it, really celebrating it, so that they feel valued. And at the same time, I also feel better when I feel valued, and when I know that, okay, I have done something. So I will say that it's just having a good discussion over it. Thank you. Over to you, table topic master.
Okay, thank you very much, Aska. I think, yes, I can agree with you, and I think a lot of people would agree that it's best to have a verbal with somebody if they've done well and give them the recognition that they deserve. So well done on that, bringing that out across there. Okay, so that's the finish of that table topics for this week. And I will now hand over to the Toastmaster of the day. So much. Over to you.
Huge round of applause to John for bringing in such a varied set of topics, which were very personalized as well in terms of all the members. Thank you very much, John. Now we come to the third section, which is the evaluation section. And to lead the evaluation section, I would like to invite Anvita Egde to the podium. Thank you, Anvita.
Thank you, DTM Somesh. Let us start off with the evaluations. I would like to call up DTM Fatima's evaluator to provide his report. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Anvita. Just to reiterate, the project that Fatima was doing was missionary communication, level 2, understanding your communication style. And the purpose of the project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify their primary style. And the purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of their style on others. So as a beginning, Fatima, I would like to congratulate you on completing the purpose for this particular project. So you had very nicely informed us about what your communication styles are. And you were really very honest in terms of informing that there might be reasons when authoritarian might be needed, but that's not your preferred style. So I think that was a good way of informing that generally in the leadership front, they talk about different strokes for different folks. This is one of the terms that is said, and that is situational leadership, it is called. And you have actually, even though you have not directly referred to situational leadership, but you have actually informed us through your experiences that you shared with us that you actually implemented situational leadership. Also, you have brought in your own current term as a president into the speech, which is really important to bring in that element of the now. We are in this situation now. You are doing the role of president, and how you have brought together the team and how you want to follow to bring in this leadership into other people, who can take over the baton from you. So I think overall you have done a great job in terms of informing us how you have galvanized people to success, during your journey as a leader and as a good communicator. In terms of bringing the speech to the next level, probably you can share some of the anecdotes, some stories that you probably have encountered directly with other people, and share it with us here. Then it becomes a little bit more personalized in terms of what you are conveying to us. The other option in terms of making it more interesting would be to bring in some amount of variety. And I think it's a challenge for everyone. How do we bring in the variety? So that's something that we can put more thought into. Other than that, a great speech as usual. And thank you for always showing us how leadership should be done. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator Anvita.
Thank you, DTM Somesh, for that excellent evaluation. I like that you spoke about the purpose of her project. Then you went on to point out the positives of her speech, that is situational leadership, and also bringing in the present moment. One suggestion I would like to give you is that most of your evaluation was centered on the content of her speech. Probably you could have also spoken few lines on the delivery part. Like, for example, she did have several good gestures. For example, when she spoke about the direct communication, she brought her hands forward in front of the camera as if implying direct. And then she spoke about result oriented. For that also she had an apt gesture. So probably you could have covered both the delivery as well as the content in your evaluation. Other than that, you also summarized the evaluation. So it was a good evaluation. Next, I would like to call up our second evaluator, Lola, to provide her evaluation.
Thank you so much, Anvita. So I am evaluating Teresa. So her pathway is presentation mastery. She did the speech on researching and presenting. And the title of her speech, it was Brian Tracy's 14-step goal setting guide. And the goal of the presentation of Teresa's speech, it was that to present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic, and she accomplished goal. Although the Brian Tracy guide is not easy to articulate, she engaged with the audience. She did a well research on this topic, and she asked questions in order to grab audience attention. And she explained the 5 steps over and over again, like 5 steps, which are like imagining your goal, writing up your goal, setting up a deadline, and identifying your obstacles. And she emphasized that 80% of the is inside of you. You have to work on your skills, on your on programming, on your ability to grow, and 20% is outside of you. And she did mention that the last step is to how to perfect these skills and how to plan and find those people who already have these successful traits. And I really like how she many times mentioned she tried so it can stay with the audience the steps. I really like her eye contact, her tone, variety of tone. Yeah. And Brian Tracy is one of the best speakers, motivational speakers I really like, and I really enjoy her speech. Thank you so much, Anita.
Thank you, Dola. Please give her a big round of applause. I liked how you stated the purpose, commented on the audience engagement, and also you reiterated whatever steps she had shared, which showed me that you have listened to her speech clearly. I would like to give you one suggestion. You could have given her a suggestion on pauses. There were several questions which she had asked in the beginning, but there was no pause in between. One after the other, it just kept on coming. I think the purpose of that question was so that the audience can frame an answer in their mind. But the series of questions, it came too fast for me to do that. So probably she could have added a pause in between each of those questions. Other than that, your observation was very good. Next, I would like to call our timer Toastmaster Aska to provide her report. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. To begin with, Samesh took 3 minutes 48 seconds to introduce the theme. Fatima 7 minutes 10 seconds. Teresa 6 minutes 43 seconds. And table topics, Kaushal 1 minute 32 seconds. And with 2 minutes 30 seconds. Teresa 1 minute 40 seconds. Samesh 2 minutes 23 seconds. Aska 2 minutes 7 seconds. And evaluations, Samesh took 2 minutes 46 seconds and Lola 2 minutes 42 seconds. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you for that galvanizing report, Aska. Please give her a big round of applause. It's great to know that each of us were within the time limits today. Next, I would like to call our grammarian, DTM Kaushal, to provide his grammarian report.
Madam General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters, as he opened the meeting as Toastmaster of the day, Somesh, I only counted one minor problem in that you said personal growth leader advanced instead of personal growth leaders advanced. For our speakers, Fatima, You have a tendency to begin your sentences with the word and. You also have the tendency to chain sentences with the word and. I have that problem as well. Teresa, you made great use of the word of the day, but there were a few usages which did not match the definition of galvanize. For example, you said galvanize your goals, but you don't really stimulate a goal into action. You could have instead said galvanize yourself to follow your goals. For our table topics, Asuka, in your table topic speech, I heard a few repeats and ums, but for the other table topics speakers, I did not hear any ahs or ums. For the evaluation section, Lola, I also heard some ahs, some uns and ands in your speech. I also have that problem with the word and. In terms of the word of the day, we heard the word galvanize a lot. I heard it from Fatima, Teresa, myself, Anvita, and Somesh. So thank you for making good use of the word of the day. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Please give a big round of applause to DTM Kaushal. It was a very apt word of the day. I think most of them used it because it matched with our theme. We could use it in most of our speeches. Also, you had a very detailed grammarian and R counter report. Such reports really help us avoid the use of fillers and improve our communication. Thank you for that. Coming to my evaluation of today's meeting, we started the meeting on time. DTM Some started it. In his opening speech, he used a quote by Henry Ford, and then he spoke about forming, norming, performing, storming, as well as adjourning. He also repeated all these points, which helped me register it in my mind. I also liked some of your sentence and word usages. For example, you said, whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And also you said, let us keep the leadership torch burning. Excellent usages. In the conclusion, you spoke about the renewal season, again encouraging all the members to renew. By doing that, you brought your speech to the present moment, what is happening now in our club. I do not have any suggestions for you. Even your fillers after each role taker, it was very smooth. It flowed in a natural manner. So overall, excellent performance as the Toastmaster of the day. Coming to our table topic master, DTM John, all his topics were very interesting and it was related to our theme, which was about team spirit. He also had excellent fillers. For example, he spoke about the Roman Empire. And after that, he either agreed with the speakers or he spoke positively after their speech. It was very good. And then he asked for volunteers and gave everyone who were interested to speak a chance. He also gave the minor role takers a chance to speak. I do not have any suggestions for you too. That is the end of my evaluation. I would now like to hand it over to our TMOD, DTM Somesh.
Thank you very much, Rita, for great general evaluation and all the reports. Excellent. Well done, everyone. So I'd like to conclude again with the same quote with which we started. Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. And the 4 stages, and the 5th stage as well, the adjourning, forming, storming, norming, performing, adjourning. So storming comes in between forming and norming because there might be some challenges that occur when we try to understand each other's personality and try to work together. But then it norms. Once it norms, we start performing. And that is what is working together is success. So with that we can continue to galvanize ourselves to ignite the team spirit, I would like to hand over the virtual gavel to our president to complete the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. And once again, as Anvita has said, it's been an excellent meeting. And I love the fact that we have more members attending. Well done all. Now, a few announcements as we are almost coming to the end of our term. We have 4 months, and we would like to encourage everybody to renew your membership. And of course, nominate yourself for positions for EXCO. And next thing I would like to remind you that remember in the EXCO meeting, we agreed to have educational sessions. We have already had a very successful one with FOSET. And I would like to propose that let's have another session before end of our term so that we can get more members. And happy news, I have talked to 2 members and there is 99% of Rosie coming back and John will be following. And there's another member, previous member from Malaysia. He also looking for shorter meeting, and this is actually the selling point that I use 1 hour Saturdays, short and sweet, and we end our meeting. So let's do that and bring more members so that we can rise up. And also, finally, the last thing is if we can be mindful of there are some educational levels that we need in order for us to achieve our goals, let's do that. And let me hand the floor to Teresa. Over to you. Thank you so much, members.
Thank you very much, Madam President, for those wonderful and insightful words of wisdom.